Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here for Western Mass News at 6. I'm Jordyn Jagalinzer. Chris Pisano is off tonight. As we're ending the first week of August, school districts across the state are making the very important decision on how they will reopen come fall. Their plans must be submitted to the state next week. Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us live in Springfield with a closer look at how the region's districts are planning to move forward. Audrey?
Springfield making the decision to go full remote at the start of the year. They made that decision last night. Other districts had their meetings delayed by power outages from the storm. They too are starting to make that decision process on vote on how they'll start the year. The continued threat of COVID-19 means school committees must decide how they will get their curriculum to students without getting them sick. Western Mass News has compiled the decisions from districts across the region. In Hampden County, schools have elected either full remote or hybrid. One notable exception is the Southwick-Tolland-Granville district, where elementary students have the option of either fully remote or fully in person with no hybrid choice. On the other hand, Agawam School Committee making the decision to go hybrid Friday morning.
I'm very disappointed with the vote.
Wendy Rua is one of 3 school committee members who voted no. The other 4 electing a model where 2 cohorts of students will each spend either Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, Friday in the building. The other 3 days a week will be remote, with Wednesday designated for cleaning.
50% of our student body in the building at any given time.
Decisions are trickling in from Hampshire County schools as well. Northampton voting full remote Friday morning. East Hampton's vote is Friday night, but their mayor telling us early what the community should expect.
I'm not feeling that it's safe to open public buildings to the public.
Mayor Nicole LaChapelle has ordered the public buildings closed, which she says includes East Hampton District schools. She says given the air quality in the schools and the contagious nature of the coronavirus, it's unlikely she'll reopen them.
I'm really watching these public health metrics and considering extending my mayoral order that all public buildings stay closed until September 1 and maybe 80% there to extend the September 1 deadline further into the fall.
East Hampton again voting tonight. Westfield and West Springfield expected to make their votes on Monday. We'll keep you updated on what they decide, but for now I'm reporting live in Springfield. Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thanks for that live report. And Western Mass News is your school authority. You have questions and concerns as schools prepare to open back up, and we're getting you answers. You can call us with those questions at 413-846-0200 or email us schoolauthority@westernmassnews.com. Nearly 300,000 coronavirus deaths are projected by December, according to a new model out by the University of Washington. Researchers say there is one way to lower that number significantly. Beth Ward joins us live from her home with the very latest. Beth?
Well, Jordyn, the new data just out shows that we are on track, according to all of the hotspots popping up across the country, to reach that deadly milestone. The model shows that there is one way that we could possibly avert that milestone, and that is for every American to start wearing one of these right now.
The study is from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington School of Medicine. At the rate the U.S. is adding COVID-19 cases, researchers say by December 1st, the U.S. death toll will reach more than 295,000. However, they also say if 95% of the people in the U.S. started to wear a mask today, that number would drop nearly 49%, saving 66,000 lives.
I agree, and I think the evidence is very clear that if we dramatically increased the percentage and the rate at which all Americans wore masks and practiced distancing and washed hands, all 3 of those things, but any one of them in particular, we would see a reduction in the transmission of the virus. We would save lives.
Mercy Medical Center's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Robert Roos, says the data proves wearing a mask is effective in stopping the spread.
A study came out also this week showing that even asymptomatic people with no symptoms but who have the virus, can have millions of particles per milliliter of virus and can shed.
If this latest model is correct,
these projections and the rate of deaths so far from the coronavirus during this year mean that COVID is going to be one of the leading causes of death in the United States. If the projections are true, it will be the third leading cause of death behind cancer and heart disease.
Here in Western Mass, Dr. Roos tells Western Mass News, so far we've done a good job in keeping the number of cases down.
I'll say, however, that over the past couple of weeks, my level of concern has increased. It does appear that we are seeing increasing rates, both in terms of the numbers of new infections, as well as slight increases in the numbers of hospitalizations.
A month ago, he says there were 0 patients with COVID-19 at Mercy. However, in the last week or two, cases are on the rise.
Now, the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also says that if every American wore a mask, the pandemic would be under control in a matter of weeks. Reporting live from home, Beth Ward, Western Mass News. Back to you.
Okay, Beth, thanks. And here's a look at today's number of COVID-19 cases. So far, the state reports 320 new cases with a total number of 111,853 in the Bay State. There are 18 more deaths today, bringing the statewide death toll to 8,488. Governor Charlie Baker today taking action in response to the slight increase in COVID-19 cases here in the Bay State. Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis joins us live in downtown Springfield to break it all down for us. Leon?
Jordyn, with the average positive test rate just over 2%, the governor has decided to slow down the state's reopening process and cut the size of outdoor gatherings in half. Now, he says many of the new cases are clusters tied to private parties and large gatherings where people are not necessarily following distancing and face covering guidelines. That's why he is going to now limit outdoor gatherings in Massachusetts to 50 people, down from 100. Indoor capacity remains at 25, and Baker had this to say about businesses in step 2 of the state's phase 3 reopening plan.
5 weeks ago, we laid out new economic sectors that could open in phase 3. This uptick in cases and reports of people not adhering to the guidance we have put forth here in Massachusetts means we cannot move forward at this time or anytime soon in the near future.
Step 2 of phase 3 includes indoor performance venues such as concert halls and indoor activities like laser tag, roller skating, trampolines, and obstacle courses. Now, step 2 of phase 3 is postponed indefinitely, and Baker's new order on outdoor gatherings go into effect on Tuesday. Live in Springfield, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
And for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it develops, be sure to log on to our free streaming Western Mass News app.
We picked up some sprinkles early on, then we saw some sunshine, then the clouds really thickened up, and that's what we're left with right now. And don't be surprised if you don't see much sunshine to end the day. I think the clouds are here to stay as we go towards the overnight. There is a storm system to our south and west, bringing some severe weather to the Delmarva as you go into Delaware, New Jersey, where they do have even a tornado warning out towards the Philadelphia area. For us, we do have the clouds that are thickening up, a couple of showers possible. We're going to be on the northern extent or northern fringes of those showers to our south and west. So don't be surprised if we squeak out a couple of sprinkles, especially as some of these clouds start to move on in and really start to just blanket us. We could see a couple of raindrops. Afternoon highs reached into the mid to low 80s. We're now in the low 80s for Westfield, Springfield, and into Palmer, 79 in Northampton and Amherst, and 79 degrees currently in Greenfield. Tonight, falling into the middle 60s. Scattered showers from about 8 o'clock in the evening to maybe midnight or so. Then our rain chances gradually diminish as we go towards daybreak tomorrow. Now, there is a chance for some showers tomorrow, but those are mainly going to be north and west of Springfield as you go into the Berkshires, southern Vermont, into the Hudson River Valley, and even along the Connecticut shoreline, though that is not north or west, we could see a couple of sprinkles right along the Long Island Sound. Afternoon highs reaching back into the middle 80s. We're even warmer as we go into Sunday, and 90s entering in the forecast into next week. We'll look at that full 7-day in just a few minutes. Jordyn?
All right, Jacob, thanks. New at 6, state police arrest a man suspected of killing another man in Holyoke last month. The Hampden District Attorney's Office tells Western Mass News that 29-year-old Angel Rivera of Chicopee was charged with murder today. They say Rivera shot 43-year-old Jose Bonilla of Holyoke on Suffolk Street on July 13th, and Bonilla later died at Bay State Medical Center. Rivera is being held without the right to bail and is due back in Holyoke District Court on September 4th. A Springfield man was indicted in federal court Thursday on charges of being a felon in possession of a firearm and possession of marijuana. Authorities say 32-year-old Levon Pemberton was pulled over on the Mass Pike for speeding back on May 14th. During a subsequent search, state police found a loaded firearm, thousands of dollars in cash, and multiple bags of marijuana. Police say Pemberton said he intended to sell the marijuana once he reached his destination. Pemberton could face up to 10 years in prison for the gun charge and up to 5 years in prison for the drug charge. Health officials announcing the first human case of West Nile virus in the state this year. The Department of Public Health saying the man in his 50s was likely exposed to the virus in southwestern Essex County or eastern Middlesex County. They say the risk of human infection of West Nile virus is generally low throughout the state. Last year in 2019, there were 5 human cases in the Bay State. The virus is spread through the bite of an infected mosquito. In New England Patriots news, for the first time since joining the team, quarterback Cam Newton met with the media. Newton comes to the Patriots after 9 seasons with the Carolina Panthers. However, he only played in 2 games last year due to injuries. The 3-time Pro Bowler and 2015 NFL MVP is not guaranteed the starting job, and he says that's okay.
You compete every year. It doesn't matter how much a person's paid, doesn't matter how much a person's experienced, doesn't matter how much a person knows or doesn't know. I think, we're all are competing each and every day. And, I've been competing every single day. Didn't matter what the team was, because at the end of the day, if you're one game away, as I've learned in this past year, and at the end of the day, it's just about, like I say, proving your worth and doing your part.
Newton enters training camp competing with second-year pro Jarrett Stidham and veteran Brian Hoyer. One of the 3 will replace Tom Brady, who has moved on to the Tampa Bay Bucks after 20 seasons with the Patriots.